evening, everybody. Welcome back. I just want to mention something. We're going to be continuing the series on gratitude tonight. And I'm kind of want to add on to the mosaic, the gratitude for recovery. And just to give you a quick little background, we began with the concept of building what I call a personal mosaic, a vision of ourselves as a person. And we began by developing what I call, basically called the gift of life. Okay, so the concept, the greatest gift we were given is, of course, the gift of life. From the gift of life, we learned the importance of growing through a family system, the importance of family. So that plays a big role. Our connection to others, our social interaction, we're not islands. And that's where our growth takes place, physically, and hopefully in other areas too. From there, we learned the necessary business of having an open mind or an attitude of openness. Then last week, we talked about developing personal experiences. So tonight, I kind of get excited, so put up with me tonight, okay? I like talking about recovery and the aspect of recovery. And to do that, I want to start off tonight with something my first sponsor in OA said to me a long time ago, a beautiful man named Richard, and back in 1986 and 87. First thing he did to me was he read what he calls the 9 step promises. And he read it to me so many times because he wanted me to get it. But in the beginning, when I first heard it, it was nice, it was wonderful, but it was okay. I didn't really get too crazy about it. But now I do understand. I'm connected with it in a very beautiful way. So I want to start off by sharing that with you. The 9 step promises. If we painstakingly, if we are painstakingly about this phase of our development, we know a new freedom and a new happiness. We'll not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We'll comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down we have fallen, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We'll lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We'll intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We see that our service to God, our higher power, or the greater good, has done for us what seemed humanly impossible. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled amongst us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. I really felt important to read that tonight because, to me, the 9 step promises are the core and the foundation what recovery really is all about. And one thing I learned in my life is recovery is such a beautiful thing, and yet we have to understand something. Recovery is a process. It's a gradual process. It's a slow process. Everything that's good in life happens slowly. And I kind of get a kick out of this because I go back to my father when I was a kid growing up. Today I call my father the great philosopher. But back then I called him a few other names. What can I tell you? The bottom line is, he used to say to me all the time, "Pacienza, Wyone, pacienza, Wyone." Patience, little boy, patience, little boy. Everything will happen in God's time when it's supposed to happen. Take it easy, relax, slow down, enjoy life, watch the sun come up, and say goodnight to it when it comes down. And he was so calm about everything he did. When he looked at life, he used to say, "Don't worry, everything will be okay." The opposite of my mother, but that's okay. Well, the concept is, he basically had this calming thing to him. Well, I was a little boy, so basically I said, "Okay, Pop." And now I realize, for some reason, he must have been in these rooms because I went into the rooms of AA, and on the wall they have easy does it, take it easy, one day at a time, slow down, relax, all these slogans. So I figured my father must have got in touch with him, what can I tell you, from the other side and gave them to him. But the bottom line is, I realized today, everything he was saying is true. Because like anything else we do in life, the slower we do it, the more it stays with us. But now I got to share this. Most of us in this room are codependents. Whether addicts or codependents, we have a little bit of a disease. That disease is compulsiveness. And so I want to figure everything out right away. We have that philosophy. I want what I want when I want it, and I want it now. Give me the answers. Show me what to do, how to do it. We're always in a rush. We're in a hurry. And as a result, we never get anything finished to get done. And so the real reality is the growth process is a slow process, a gradual process. So I'm going to share a story with you, which is really important. This goes back to Center City, Philadelphia, years ago. I remember in Center City, when they were building some of these real tall buildings. I am going back a lot of years, so hang on with me. But anyway, they were building these real tall buildings. They used to have these fences up, and they had knot holes in them. Actually, they were vision holes. You can actually watch and look down, and you can see a great big hole, and all these little people running around the hole, carrying stuff and doing things. Come back a month later, they're still running around the hole, doing things. A month after that, they're still running around the hole. So I kept saying, when's this building going to go up? Every time I come here, all I see is little people running around the hole. So what's going on? And then all of a sudden, one day, all of a sudden, the building started to rise. Things start happening. They start going up. What I realized, which is so important, those little people running around that hole for all those months were doing the most important part of the building. They were laying a foundation. They were putting the roots in. In order for that building to be strong, in order for it to really be able to hold itself up, it had to have a strong root, a strong foundation. Now, I use that example because that's exactly how recovery works. If it's really going to work and we're going to grow in recovery, we have to add this to the mosaic, because the important part is we got to be able to do our work. We do it gradually, we do it slowly. We begin to make progress, and progress is always beautiful when it occurs on a slow basis. Always remember, progress, not perfection. A little bit at a time. Take your time, go slow. And that's important, because recovery is a process that we have to invest in and take time in. And I don't know about you, but I made this big mistake. The first 44 years of my life, I didn't really believe all this stuff. I was too busy. I was too busy because I was around the rooms of recovery, but I was too confused of who I was. And so as a result, I was running around taking care of everybody else. I told you the story before, but I went to my first 12-step meeting in 1969, and it was Al-Anon. When I went to the meeting, I went for the wrong reason. I wanted them to show me exactly how to fix the pastor I was living with. And by the way, I wanted that formula in that one meeting. Just one, that's all. Give me the formula and I'll go home. Well, those very strange people kept telling me to work on me. I didn't need any work. I didn't have the problems, he did. And so as a result, they never cooperated. They were a pain, I'll tell you. Finally, in 1972, I had a nervous breakdown. And the doctor in the hospital, I think, went to the Al-Anon meeting, because he kept telling me the exact same thing. You have no idea who you are. You got to work on yourself. You got to find out who you are. You keep doing what you're doing, you'll be dead by the time you're 40 years old. He kept saying to me, you're spiritually dead. You have no idea who you are. You have no sense of yourself. But see, I was trapped. I was trapped in what I call the ego. I was trapped in the external. I was trapped in looking for the quick answer. I was trapped in trying to find everything out. And as a result, I found nothing out. Even when I was in my early programs in AA and different places, I was what they call today a two-stepper. I did the first step and the 12th step. The 10 in between, I don't need that. You might need them, but I don't. See how that works? And so that basically, I just kind of cured myself and then basically ran around trying to fix everybody else because now I had all the answers. I figured it out. Sound familiar, guys? This thing up here, I figured it out. Then I found out later on, you can't figure it out. There's that confusion again. I already had it figured out, then I found out you can't figure it out. That doesn't drive you crazy. I don't know what will. So as a result, then I learned from my codependent behaviors, I figured, well, I read all the books, got all the information, got it all together, and I was cured. That takes care of it, see? Let's see, no, it doesn't work that way. I am learning over and over again. Wisdom, grace, growth, all the things we talk about in this mosaic of gratitude comes from the concept of injecting what I call the spirit of recovery, the gratitude of recovery. Injecting into ourselves the need for us to go on that journey, that very special journey, a little bit at a time, of discovering our personhood, of beginning to answer that question, who am I? What am I all about? Why am I on this earth? What is my journey? How can I learn from my past? How can I develop an attitude of gratitude? Gratitude for what was, like the promises say. You will not forget your past nor regret it. Of course, we can now learn from it. We can be open to the future, even though the future is the unknown. And many of us, for a long period of time, had a fear of the unknown. And now I have to realize, I have to be open to the unknown and have a sense of faith, trust, and belief in the unknown. And that one day I'll be led to where I'm supposed to be led. Since this is all about that beautiful concept where the roots come from of our recovery program. The roots come from those first 3 steps. Remember how many times I bugged you with that term? The stools and bottles, the three-legged stool. And I mentioned the fact that the 3-legged stool, the legs were the foundation holding the stool up and in place. Take one leg away, you got a problem. You're sitting on the floor. So the bottom line is, in recovery, it's the exact same thing. We need the foundation and the tools to help us in our growth process. Those tools are based around acceptance, surrender, faith, trust, and being open to this process we're talking about tonight. And that's why it's a beautiful thing to let things happen in a very slow and gradual process. And the adventure of life is to learn through the gift of humility that we're never done. There's something new to be learned. It's a new experience to go through. But I really believe in something today, that with faith and trust, everything's possible. And that's why these promises are so powerful and they're so beautiful. And they tell us that all this good will come to us, but it will come to us when we do our work within, have a sense of patience, calmness, a sense of gentleness, be open to the journey, and be open to a higher power, a higher good, and realize that somehow, some way, all this stuff will come to us, but it will come to us in time. But it's funny sometimes with things we have to do. Got to do it the hard way, because I want what I want. I always tell the story from down in South Philadelphia when I was at a South Philadelphia AA meeting one time. And it was a holiday. I forget what holiday it was. It was a Monday. And of course, back then we didn't have ATM machines. So basically, this guy came to the meeting, he was all bent out of shape. He was upset because it was a holiday. Secondly, because the banks were closed and he wanted his money. But he couldn't get it because the bank was closed. And so he started ranting and raving at the meeting about how horrible these banks are, why they should be closed on a holiday, went on and on and on and on. Finally, his sponsor got up from the meeting, went over to him, literally grabbed him, took him outside, and told me the story later. He drove him to the bank, got him out of the car, put him in front of the door of the bank, and he said, now stand here and yell at this door till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I guarantee you it will open. Just stay here and keep yelling. In short, leave me alone, yell at the bank, goodbye. I love that story because sometimes, we get so hard-headed and I want something so intensely and so nuttily, when in reality, it's not going to work that way. Because I've learned something. The more I push and push and push and push and try to make it happen, it never happens. When I get away from it and relax, and take it easy, and do things slowly, and over time, isn't it funny how things find their way in spite of us? And yet we have a hard time with this because it's almost like in the serenity prayer, the wisdom to know the difference. Wisdom is so powerful, but wisdom is something you have to earn. And wisdom comes from learning from others. It means passing it on, entering it into with others, getting connected. I was laughing the other day. It was my wife's birthday, so I took the day off and we went down to Ocean City and went for a walk. And I have this little habit now of saying to my wife, I guess I'm getting old. Because I really can't do some of the things I did before. So I must be getting old. My wife said, Vince, you say that a lot. I'm going to have to tell you something. You are old. So face it and deal with it. I said, oh, I'm not getting old. I am, because 81 means I'm getting old. So the concept is I have to accept that. But there's still a part of me, here's that stubborn part or that old part that says, no, I can do it when you can't do it. Isn't it amazing how we are? I remember when I was reffing basketball, and I reffed up till I was about maybe 58, 59 years old, maybe even 60. But I said to my wife, I'm going to keep refereeing basketball until I'm 94 years old. And guess what? I couldn't run up and down that court now if you paid me. Want to know why? Those 16-year-olds would run circles around me. But see, again, here's that grandiose thinking. You're going to be able to do this for the rest of your life. You're going to be, instead of accepting the fact that do what you can do today. Stay in the moment. Accept the moment. Celebrate it. Be grateful for it. Be grateful for whatever you have. Because you can't move forward till you come to an acceptance of what is. That goes for every area of our life. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's a constant process of growth and growth taking place. And one of the things I learned, and this afternoon, because I'm doing the lectures virtually at 12 o'clock. So I did them in a lecture hall this afternoon with a little bit of a live audience and Zoom. And it was interesting because I was standing in the middle of our memorial wall with all the plaques around us. And I looked over to the left. And on the wall on the left, we have some plaques in the first two sections that are gold. They're different color than the rest of them. And those plaques are from 1977, 1978, 1979. They're plaques what I refer to as the old timers. And every once in a while, I love going over there in that hall. I call it a sacred hall. And standing by those plaques and looking at those people who have blazed the path for me, who taught me so much, who taught me the simplicity of this program, who really planted the seeds and were there and all the beautiful things they taught. And the amazing part about it is these promises, and Richard is there, my first sponsor. God rest his soul, he died in a motorcycle accident, but he's still there with me. And all these promises, all these individuals I met along the way were passing all that beautiful stuff on through their spirit, through their life, through their example, through who they were. But they spoke not by what they said, but what their spirit said, and the beautiful things that were inside of them. And now I know it's our job to pass it on some more. Look, I will look at the plaques and realize one day my name's going to be up there. I hope and pray there's people to pass it on. And that's one of the things why we continue this process. And we just take part in it a little bit at a time. And life moves on. And life has this journey. But you got to want to be able to be on that journey with others. And that's why as I build my own mosaic of life and you build yours, we have to realize we learn from all these different things we're experiencing in life. Try to continuously have an open mind. Don't shut down and close off. Remember, there's always something new to be learned. There's a new experience to go through. Yes, we're going to have, as I always say, sadness. We're going to have loss. We're going to have change. You know, there's so many people I was connected to in the past no longer here. But I'm still here. Why am I here? Because I'm supposed to be here. It's not my turn to go on the wall yet. So basically, I have to wait and see. So I told Loretta, put a nice thing up on the wall. Don't worry about it. But the concept is, it's a beautiful thing to realize and look at the past, learn from it, and respect it. But also respect the future, respect the unknown, respect where you're going. Don't have fear. Because I'm learning if you try to live in fear and control, it's going to destroy you. It'll tear you to shreds. You got to be able to release that fear, the fear of the unknown especially. You have to learn to let go of control and just go with the flow. You know, I'm learning more and more about life. And believe it or not, I learned a lot of this from sports. Because people that truly understand playing sports know what it means to get into the flow of the game. It's almost like you go into another whole world. You're in the flow and things work. As soon as you start thinking, you make mistakes and you make errors. Remember a great third baseman, Mike Schmidt, played for the Phillies. He used to always say this over and over and over again. He used to say, when you're on the ball field, the most dangerous thing you can do is think. He said, you just play the game and play in the flow of the game, and the game will work for you. I'll never forget that. He said, just play in the flow of the game, and the game will work for you. The minute you start trying to figure it out, that's the minute things begin to happen negatively. And I learned that from the simple little things of life. And what he was saying makes a lot of sense. A lot of times I've learned this from individuals and people. You know, I remember when I got my basketball official license and I went to a training session at Temple University. And a gentleman, I think I told you the story before, named Sid Borgia, who was the dean of the NBA officials back then. You know, I'm really going back because now I'm talking about the days of Bob Cousy and all those guys on the Celtics. But anyway, he used to say to me, to all the guys in the training camp, he used to say, it's a game. Make a call and keep it moving. Don't worry about whether it's right or wrong. Make a call and keep it moving. Don't think, just play. Go with the flow of the game. And most important thing is make everybody believe you made the right call, even though maybe you didn't. And that's okay too. Because a little bit about refereeing is being a little bit of an actor. Because, you know, do you really believe you get 10 guys bouncing off a basketball? You know, you don't know who the hell knocked it out. You just say blue and go, you know, and you make everybody in the place believe that you actually saw who knocked it out. You make the players believe it too. So it's totally amazing. I used to laugh, have so much fun, but you got to learn how to enjoy it, to flow the game, to have fun with it. he always told the story because Red Auerbach was the coach of the Boston Celtics back then. And whenever he refereed a game with Red, he would call a technical on Red in the first 2 minutes of the game. And Red said, "What did I do?" He said, "Nothing." "Why'd you call it technical?" "I just want to let you know I'm here." That was his personal way of saying hello. So they had all these little idiosyncrasies, but they had humor. They had seriousness and they had humor. And that's exactly what recovery is. Recovery is serious work, but you have to have a sense of humor to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at life, go with the flow of it, learn as much as you possibly can, be open to it, and allow the journey to take you where you're supposed to go. I've learned over and over again, the more I try to control the journey, it doesn't work. We're seeing a lot of things in life right now. We don't have a lot of power over them. And there's about 9,500 different theories about this and about that and the other thing. All you got to do is you got to go with the flow of where you're at and see where life takes you and try to be open to it. You do the best you can. Like the old timers used to say, do the best you can and go to sleep. But go to sleep with an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for the day. Be grateful for life. Be grateful for all the little things you have. And yet at the same time, realize the fact that, sometimes you feel like you can't be happy. And yet at the same time, happiness is right in here. It's in your spirit. It's in your heart. It's in your core. You keep looking for happiness on the outside, you're not going to find it. The material things won't bring you happiness. But spiritual things and spirit inside of you will. And so the real you is on the inside. The external is pretty for a while, then it gets old. What can I tell you? But it's still there, still part of it. That changes. But the inside is what's so important. Because your spirit, the energy that makes you who you are, is who you are. And that energy and that spirit, your uniqueness, it's your specialness, it's the journey that you're on. And that's what we share with one another. You can call that love. You can call it wisdom. You can call it gratitude. But you can call it acknowledgement. There's a lot of names for it. But truly, when you're alive on the inside, your spirit is flowing. To me, this is one of the antidotes of depression and anxiety. Why are we anxious? Why are we depressed? A lot of times we're that way because we feel like we're not getting what we're supposed to get and where we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to go. I'm looking for the perfect this, for the perfect that. Forget perfect, okay, please? Always get a kick out of it. I'm trying to find the perfect relationship. Let me know. Unless you're making a robot, I don't know. But the bottom line is, nothing out there with a bunch of us old-fashioned human beings. Howie knows what I'm talking about. He looks in the mirror every day. It's amazing. But the concept is nothing but a bunch of crazy human beings. And that's the fun part about life. And so you go with it. You learn, you experience. You learn something more today, a little bit more today. If you get aggravated today, it's wonderful. Enjoy the aggravation. What can I tell you? If you're sad today, be sad. Whatever it is, be for the day. You don't always have to have a good day, believe me. If you're not having a good day, then maybe it's because you're not supposed to have a good day. And that's okay not to have a good day. But see, we're codependents. Why am I not having a good day? Let me go figure it out. So I'll make my bad day more bad by trying to figure it out. Make myself more crazy by trying to figure it out. Instead of just going with the flow of a damn bad day. Go back to bed, start over again, whatever you want to do. But go with the flow of it. We're going to have mood swings. We're going to go through changes. Some days we'll be happy as, I don't know, it's a peacock. Other days, when's the day going to end? I can't wait to go to bed. This day, forget it. Isn't that great? All that wonderful mixture of so many beautiful things that make up life. That's the beauty of it. That's what it's really all about. And so recovery teaches us, stay in the flow of life, go with the flow, enjoy the people around you, and be who you are, not what you think somebody else thinks you should be. Be you. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate your moment. We're all different. We have different traits, different characteristics, different ways in which we deal with life. So what? The bottom line is we're all human. We're all together. We're all connected. We learn from each other. We grow from each other. Every person in here is a unique and special individual. Every person here and on this earth is unique and special. Even the ones we have a hard time with, and there's plenty of them out there, it's okay. They're supposed to be in your life to teach you patience and tolerance. That's all right too. It's all part of something. It's part of the growth process. So don't expect everybody to be exactly the way you want them to be. And don't live up to the expectations of others, please. Live your own life. Stay within your own self. And so tonight, when I talk about recovery, I'm talking about something that just kind of grows on you. It's a slow process. And I know I'm no different than you. I had to beat myself into the ground before I went through my transition, my changes, and my growing up. And I'm grateful. And God has sent some very special people into my life, and I have some very special people in my life today. And these people are very great teachers to me in my life. They also put up with me a lot in my life. So it's wonderful and it's great. And I realize all that, and that's all part of it. It's all part of the journey of learning from each other and growing from each other. I look at this and I look at all the different things that God has given me and have experienced, and you should look in your own mirror and see all the beautiful things that you have, and maybe some of the stuff you even lost. That's okay. At least you had it for a while. It was still part of you for a while. And that's the important piece. And remember our spirit, and I'll say this as strongly as I can. Your spirit, if you really do develop it and stay positive on the inside, your spirit will never die. Your body will, but your spirit will move on. And I truly believe we're interconnected with each other's spirits. And those who have left us are part of us. Those who have left us, even though they may have left us in a strange way, they're still part of us. We don't know. And so enjoy the moment, enjoy the people you're with, enjoy those very special people that are right next to you. And I look at that and I realize how special God is. And we have to get old. Okay, so now I know I'm old. What can I tell you? It's the fun part about life. We're moving forward. And because I got to do it. My wife and I talk about this all the time. My better half sitting here right next to me. But basically, we talk about this all the time. We're going to grow old together. That was a wonderful statement quite a while ago. And all of a sudden, we realized, wait a minute, we are doing it now. Mm-hmm. So it's the fun part about life. It catches up to you. It's supposed to. And so face life with a little bit of a smile, even when it's hard sometimes. Deal the best you can with it. Above all, don't be afraid to say the two magical words. And that's why we emphasize this mosaic. Help me. Ask for help. Ask for guidance. Ask for direction. That takes a lot of humility. And realize the fact you don't have all the answers. Who wants the answers anyway? Life is supposed to be a wonderment, isn't it? See what happens and go from there. Be grateful for the gifts God has given us, the gifts of our children, the gifts of grandkids, the gift of family, the gift of all the things that we have, the people we've met in the rooms of recovery, the people that are connected to us. We're all family. We're all connected to one another. We're all learning from each other. We all get aggravated with each other. We go through all kinds of changes. God, what a wonderful mosaic. It's fantastic, isn't it? But the most important thing is to look at it with an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of humility, an attitude of acceptance, and above all, an attitude of love. If we have that attitude, everything else will find itself in place. So my prayer tonight, I just want to ask God to bless us and guide us and help us on this journey. To realize that the gift that we have called recovery is a gift. Please teach us not to take it for granted, but to honor it, respect it, and be open to learn from it. So let us pray. God, we come before you tonight in prayer. We ask for your guidance and we ask for your direction. We ask that you allow us to look within our own selves, to realize the beauty of who we are. We thank you for our creation, but above all, we thank you and we ask you to please guide us and be with us and help us to go on this journey of self-discovery, this journey of realizing the fact that you are deep down inside of each and every one of us. And you walk alongside of us on the journey. Give us the gift of surrender, the gift of willingness, the gift of faith, the gift of trust, the gift to be open to the journey, be open to the adventure of life. Teach us to realize that, yes, we're going to go through hardship. We're going to go through struggle. We're going to go through change. We'll even go through loss. But teach us to be able to respect and to learn from the past. To teach me gratitude for the past, gratitude for the future, even for the unknown, but above all, to be grateful for this day and for the gifts of what I have today, and be open to where will lead me tomorrow. So God, we ask you to guide us, be with us as we walk this journey. We never have to walk it alone. We can walk it together with your help and guidance. And we ask this in your name. Amen. Now, when I ask you, if you don't mind unmuting, we can kind of close by doing the we version of the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done.